Okay, so I reached out to Osage Nation. You remember last week we talked about the city of Lake Ozark had tabled the resolution of support, and then they had come back and it was close. It was 3-3. Mayor Newberry said no, and so they did not offer the resolution of support. So I reached out to Osage Nation and I asked what that made them think, and they got a statement from their CEO, Kimberly Pearson. As you see there on screen, our plan is to bring a world-class entertainment district, It went on to say, we are pleased by the growing support for this project, which we attribute to our commitment to transparency and listening to citizens, business leaders, and public officials who may have questions about our investment in the community. That's why I'm going to call it big BS, for two reasons. First, it's the exact same quote we got from your former CEO about a year ago when we reached out to you.
Wow.
Second, you can't be pleased by the growing support for your project.
Because there is no growing support for your project.
It's a dying amount of support, and they attribute their commitment to transparency, listening to the citizens, business leaders, and public officials. Okay, that's where you lost me. Because we know now at this point in time, the city of Lake Ozark is not going to offer a resolution of support because Osage Nation, you're not telling us anything. Since this initial rendering was released and it's going to be a $60 million project, which another thing, how are you going to build that for $60 million?
That seems to be awfully low, yeah.
I'll call BS a second time, but not saying anything about shared resources, redevelopment plans, timetables, roads, bridges. How about the oil issue? When are you going to start? None of this is being answered from Osage Nation. And I thought that was maybe just what the mayor of Lake Ozark was saying, because he said, hey, since we got this rendering, there's been no cooperation, no answers. We cannot support something we don't have more information about. And so I thought, well, let me reach out to him. I'm sure they'll tell me something. The exact same email they sent me a year ago with a different CEO that doesn't make any sense for the time we're in. We're pleased by the growing support for this project, and I want to note, I'm not against this. As a matter of fact, I think if any development or any casino or any project deserves a break and should get some local support, I think the Native Americans are somebody that should get a break, should get their sovereignty, should get a break in taxes. I mean, if we want to go on that rabbit trail and talk about what do the Native Americans endure. And so, but I'm not taking this, okay? We're how far into this project, and you've yet to show us a second rendering, you've yet to break ground, you've yet to answer any of the concerns from the city of Lake Ozark, from the fire, from the people in the oil sector at the lake. And it's like, you're not getting support. And if you said at the last meeting when their legal defense said, hey, we don't need your support to move forward with this, okay, well, you better be prepared to move forward without the local support, because at this point, if you're not going to offer any information, the support from the locals, which was already mediocre to begin with, you either hated the idea of the casino or you loved the idea of the development and the increase in people coming to the lake. And so we were kind of at a middle ground. Well, you might have started to raise with local support until you just ghosted us and you're asking for a resolution of support with no information in what we're supporting. And so I got to applaud the city of Lake Ozark and Mayor Dennis Newberry and the 3 aldermen that voted no on this, because without any information, I'm glad they didn't support it. And I hope they don't support it until they get some information and some questions asked from these people.
I agree 100%. I mean, how can you give green light to a project you know nothing about and you don't have any power over, basically, because the Osage Nation is an independent sovereign nation, so you got to get a whole lot of things worked out before you green light something like that. And you would think the Osage Nation would be smart enough to try to be working with the community and being very out front and open about everything to to help this go forward, and they've done just the opposite, it seems like. So wake up, Osage Nation, get smart and turn around and start doing this the right way if you want to get this done.
And please, Osage Nation, talk to us at Lake TV, talk to the city of Lake Ozark. Don't send us to Rich Krismer, their PR guy. He's the one fielding these questions and answers for them, and it's like, we want to hear from you guys. What is next? Can we expect to see a casino development for the Osage Nation at Lake of the Ozarks? That's what we want to know. We want to know how, when, and where are you guys going to do it and how you're going to execute.
That's right.
And how it's going to affect the lake and how you're going to make sure that we have enough resources to accommodate. So it's interesting, but I got to tell you, they have not played their hand the way I would have thought.